Hey, Captain Monte Smith, Gold Country Sport Fishing. We're going to do a little demonstration of how to roll shad, or at least hook them up, make the harness. Been talking about that for several weeks of my homemade rigging. It's really simple. First, you're going to start off with certain things you're going to need. You're going to need a good pair of scissors that cuts yarn, some good fingernail clippers, and that yarn, just go to a sewing place or somebody that has some black yarn. This works great. You're going to need it. Secondly, you're going to need, you can use whatever hooks you want. I use Owner or Gamakatsu. It's a size 2. It's hard to see, but this is a size 2 hook that we're going to use, one of them. Then we're going to use Gamakatsu. It's a single egg. Try to show you that there. We're going to use that as well. And then the last part is an Owner. It is a Stinger treble. It's ST36. It's a red hook, size 6. You're going to need that. Again, you can use whatever size you want. Also, you're going to need a ball-bearing swivel, not a barrel swivel, a ball bearing. Because if you don't use a ball-bearing swivel, you will have line twist. And when you're rolling shad, you possibly can get line twist when that bait is constantly spinning around, rolling around. If you don't have barrel swivels, you're going to get line twist, and you don't want that. So the line I use, I'm not being paid for this, but I use P-Line Tactical 12-pound fluorocarbon. It is tough. These big kings at Don Pedro and other places, they have teeth. The smaller ones are not bad, but when you get into these big kings, anywhere from 4 to 8 pounds, they have some serious teeth. And this Tactical is what I use, and it's really good stuff. So what I do, I just start out, I don't measure it, I just go like this. Cut off about 5 to 6 feet, cut it, okay? Then we're gonna take the end of this, hope you guys can see everything, and then we're gonna take our red Stinger hook, and we're gonna run it through the eye, okay? And back. Then I'm gonna hang on to it between the hooks, and we're gonna take the line and start wrapping it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, okay? Then we're gonna pull it to the end, and we're gonna come out through the eye only about 1 inch, okay? Then, this is really difficult to see, then you're gonna take the line that's hanging there, and you're gonna wrap that around 7 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? Now, it's hard to see, but this little tag of line is sticking out. You're gonna pull that, okay? You're gonna keep pulling that. Now pull it slowly, you don't wanna get a knot. And you're gonna pull this until it's tight, okay? So there, now we have our treble hook onto our about 5-foot leader. Then we're gonna take our Owner hook, it's a mosquito hook, size, what size is that? It's a size 2, okay? So we're gonna take the end of our leader and we're gonna run it through the eye of that hook, okay? And then we're gonna pull it, okay? We're gonna get it down here till maybe there's 1.5 inches. It depends on size of your shad. Wherever you're gonna tie this treble hook back here is gonna be not on the fish. It's a stinger, it's off the fish, okay? So then we're gonna take maybe about 1 inch between the eye of the hook and the bend of the front hook. Then we're gonna take this and we're gonna start wrapping it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just go around 7 times, and then you pull it till you get to the end of the leader. You go back through the eye of that same hook, hang on to one of the lines, and then the piece that you wrapped before, you're gonna wrap it again 7 times, 7 or 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So you went around that about 7 or 8 times. Then that little tag that's sticking out, you're gonna pull, okay? You're gonna pull on that and pull it slowly, don't want a knot. You never have enough fingers and hands and everything else when trying these. You gotta use all your fingers. So now, I pulled that tight. Now look it, I've got a treble hook and I've got my number 2 mosquito hook, Owner, okay? So now, So those two hooks are in place. They're not going to move. So now what you do, you go back to your other end of your leader, and you're going to take that single egg hook made by Gamakatsu. It's a size 8. And here's where it's going to get a little tricky. So now you take your leader, you run it through that single egg hook, okay? Hope you guys can see this. We're going to take and run that all the way down, just within a couple inches of your number 2 hook, okay? So now you're going to hang on to that. Now I already have my yarn, my black yarn, cut off about 10 inches or so, and you're going to wet one end, and you're going to go through that, through the eye of that egg hook, okay? Now you want to hang on to both of those lines at the same time. You're going to wet the other end, and you're going to go back through. This is where it gets really tricky. Sometimes it takes a little bit, and you got to pull tight on the line so it opens up that hole. Okay, so there I did it. So now you have just about an inch of line sticking out. Now you hang on to the hook, to the egg hook, okay? And then you have your yarn, your sewing string or whatever you want to call it, and then you start wrapping it around the eye of that hook. 2, 3, 4, and then you want to pull on your fishing line so it doesn't get in a knot, okay? And then continue wrapping. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 9 times, okay? And again, pull your line out so it's free. Now that little tag end of the yarn, the string or whatever, your sewing thread, you're gonna pull on that, okay? And here you pull it, you release it from, I got it wrapped around my small little pinky finger, okay? And then you slowly pull it, and you pull it snug. Don't over tighten it right away. If you over tighten that yarn, the string, if you get it too tight, it won't move. Because what you want this to do is you want that egg hook to slide. So you snug it just a little bit. Now, here's where your sharp little braided line scissors, cut that off, save it, because it doesn't take very much. And then what we're gonna do, I know this is probably really difficult to see on video, and then you just trim the back end, okay? So now you have a 5-foot leader with a treble. I call it my kind of like a driving hook. It's your number 2, and your egg hook. Now you have the 3, and you have this hook. What you do is you put this right through by the adipose fin, or not the adipose, the dorsal fin, excuse me, and you go through it and come out the other side and turn this so it's to the back. And then when you take your egg hook, you put it through the bottom of his jaw and out through the top of his very tough head, okay? So we do that, and what you do is you pull on the leader, and this will create a bend in your shad. And you can make that to roll really fast, or a slow bend will create, you'll be able to go a little bit faster. So then what we do, when that leader is finished, we're gonna tie that ball-bearing swivel on, okay? So I just make a loop. I have my swivel right here, and this is a size 2 ball-bearing swivel from P-Line. So I go through there, and I have that hanging there, and I just make a loop, and you guys can use any one you want to use. It doesn't matter however you get it on there. Just make sure it's solid. Go back the ball-bearing swivel, excuse me, through there, and get a little wet and pull on it till it's tight. Pull on both pieces. Then we can use our fingernail clippers and cut the excess off, and voila, you have a ball-bearing swivel with your 5 to 6 foot leader, your egg hook, your second hook, and your stinger hook. That stinger hook is not going to be on the fish. It's not going to be on the shad, okay? It is out there in midair behind it, because you want those fish to get up there. They're going for the prize. They're going for that cookie. So when they bite that fish, that stinger hook is there. It is going to catch those fish either in the mouth, in the gill, someplace else. A lot of times we'll have all 3 of these hooks in that fish. Sometimes it might be 1, 2, you never know. But there we have it. That's a simple, exactly as how I do it. We'll come back in a few minutes. We'll have a shad and we'll put it on there and we'll show you. So hang on for the next part. Okay, I'm back. I've got a shad, and this is about the size I like to use. It's probably 2 inches, 2.5 inches long. They come in all different sizes, multi-sizes in the same package. I buy them frozen in packages, then I put them in a brine the day before, let them sit overnight in the refrigerator, and we're ready to go the next day. They're toughened up. Generally the bellies, you don't want the bellies to fall out of them, so make sure you brine them. There are lots of recipes to choose from. So what we do, we have our leader on our rod. Now we're going to take that, not the treble hook and not the egg hook. We're going to take that center hook, okay? And we're going to turn the fish this way. If you guys can see it, we're going to take this hook and run it right through that shad, okay? So it went in this side, it come out that side. So then I turn the fish, turn that shad just a little bit, and I'm taking that, it's hard to see it, that hook is in there. I push it through the bait, okay? So now we have that hook. It went in this side, it's come out this side, and I'm laying the shank of that hook on the side of that shad, okay? So now, here's where it comes our small egg hook. We go through the bottom of the jaw and we bring it out through its head in the hard spot. Don't go through his eyes. The eyes are very important. The fish know if an eye's not there. They know, they look at it really good. So now, with 2 fingers, take it, and your other fingers, now just take it, hold on to that small egg hook and pull with your right hand on the leader and see how that fish is getting a curve. You can help it along with your fingers a little bit, okay? So there's a nice, that's a good bend to have. So you can see the small egg hook there and your center hook, which actually helps put the bend in it. The fish can see very, very little, especially when you're fishing 60, 100 feet, whatever the case is. And then you have your treble hook right on the tail. Now, if you've caught a lot of salmon like I have, when you catch salmon and they're actively feeding, we have pulled up to 4 other shad out of their mouth and have our bait in there with them. And what they do, they don't take these fish by the tail. They turn them around and they take them by the head. Their tails are always sticking out of their mouth, which seems kind of crazy, but when these fish come up on it, that treble hook is right there, and you'll see tap, tap, tap. They don't hit very hard when they're biting this stuff. Some are suicidal, but very, very few. It's a slight little tap. So what I do, I tell clients, when you see it tapping, pull the rod out of the holder, reel down to the water, and give it a quick little pop. Don't want to high stick it or anything like that. Just a quick little pop to get it out of the clip on your downrigger, okay? So we have a perfect shad here that's ready to go, all right? Now the rods I use, you guys can use whatever you want, but I use Phoenix. This is a Reaper series. It's not the kokanee rod per se. It's an 805-1 point, or it's a KRX 805. This rod is perfect for salmon and big rainbows. The kokanee rod is a little bit lighter. I like these rods for the big rainbows and kings. This is an 8-foot rod. It's got a great action on the tip. You can muscle the big fish around, where the other ones, it's a little difficult. But these handle these big rainbows, and I'm talking big rainbows, anywhere from 3 to 5 pound rainbows, and anywhere from 2 to 8 pound king salmon that we've caught out of Don Pedro. So this is how I do it. You guys can use whatever rod you want. It's up to you. You know, Phoenix is a great rod. I love them, and I like the little Alexa line counters. I know exactly how much line I let out behind my weight. I use shark weights. You can run ball flashers on your downrigger balls if you prefer. I do not. Sometimes I do, but I use these Alexa little line counters. I know exactly how much line is out, and when clients are fighting the fish, I know exactly where that fish is at lengthwise out. So I hope you guys can kind of get a gist of what happened here, of all the stuff we use, the egg hook, the stinger hook, and the ball bearing, and the mosquito hooks from Owner. And then when I have a bunch of them all made up, I use these tackle buddies. They're not paying me for this, but this is a great way to put all your leaders. You just wind them up there, you put all your leaders, they're ready to go. We run through a lot of leaders. Sometimes we'll use 10 or 12 different leaders in a day's trip. It depends. You know, you can buy these anywhere. They're a great thing to have on the boat for any tackle. That's about it. Hope you guys can see that and understand of how I made that. And again, thank you from Catch America, Monte Smith Gold Country Sport Fishing. Hopefully it works out. Until next time, thanks again. Bye.